Welcome to Cancer Killers, a nice, dry, warm place on this fall day. I'm Dr. Kyle Olson. I want to start off by welcoming everybody, thanking each one of you as individuals for being here, for taking the time to learn information that can truly transform your life. Cancer Killers is a special event here in Rockford. We have a national guest speaker coming in, an expert, and you're going to hear an amazing story of recovery, adaptation, and more importantly, the knowledge he's going to pass on to you is going to ensure that you and your family can live a better quality of life. You know, we named it Cancer Killers. It's not cancer awareness, it's not cancer fighting, it's not cancer surviving. The information today is going to teach you how to kill cancer, how to use your body's own inborn ability to actually fight this terrible disease that affects too many people. There's enough awareness about cancer, I think. It's time to take the next step. The first speaker today is Dr. Jared Erdmeyer. Dr. Jared is a local doctor. He's actually one of the premier healthcare professionals in the area. In just a few short years, he's built a clinic that sees thousands of people every month. He sits on the Wellness Advisory Board that advises and works directly with multiple U.S. National Olympic teams. He actually holds accreditations, not just in a doctorate, but also in nutrition and exercise physiology. He's a true expert when it comes to healthcare, and he's passionate about your health and your family's health. And so without further ado, I'd like you to welcome to the stage Dr. Jared Erdmeyer.
Good start, everybody's awake. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. We're going to get the sound lined up. Welcome, currently our biggest event ever. Many of you have been to so many that you can just about chronicle the different sizes, the different venues. And so certainly, like Dr. Kyle mentioned, we are really pleased to be here today because closing a month where you see the pink everywhere, right? I drove by on the way to the clinic today, and saw pink balloons. If you watch the NFL, you see pink. If you watch the World Series right now, you're seeing guys with pink everything. So I promise there won't be 3 hours of echo. But you know, like Dr. Kyle said, awareness is one thing, but true prevention and really getting to the cause, and like you'll hear so much today, it's all about getting to the cause, because you know it's something that affects all of us, right? If we had everybody stand up today and say how many people have been affected either directly with cancer or somebody close to them, go ahead and sit down, what would happen to the entire room? Right? Every person. I mean, 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women. I mean, that's just an enormous number, and the hardest part is that most of the time it shows up much later. You've had it for years, it's been silently building. Even by the time a mammogram or a PET scan or an MRI can pick it up, it's been a disease that you've had. You've already been sick, you've already had this problem, and so there's really 3 different groups of people here this morning. One group has never been diagnosed. Right? So is here for prevention, is here for better health, is here to truly live the best quality of life possible. One group here may be currently experiencing some sort of a diagnosis. They may be undergoing treatment. And the third group would be somebody that's already been diagnosed in some way, shape, or form and is in technically in remission. And like Dr. Majors will tell you, the goal ideally is to never get it, but if you've had it or if you have it, is to kill it and to never let it come back. You know, because if you get to the cause, you'll see that there is no cancer, there is no disease that cannot be reversed. In our clinic today, or in our clinic this week, the slogan on all of the whiteboards said incurable, means you can only cure it from within. Right? How many people know when somebody's been told it's been incurable, that the only way for you to cure it is your body to heal itself. There's no drug, there's no surgery, there's no thing that can get to it at that point. But cancer doesn't just affect people as they age. In fact, younger and younger people are being diagnosed. What a lot of people aren't aware of is that cancer now outnumbers heart diseases, death for younger people. In fact, children at early adolescence, it's the number 2 cause of death besides accidents. So if you weren't in a car accident or if you don't have a freak injury, cancer is the number 1 killer for kids. You know, and how many times do we think of cancer prevention in kids? It's Halloween. How many kids are going to pour their bodies full of cancer-causing materials today and tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday? In fact, starting today, interesting to have this today, starting today through New Year's Day is the sickest time in our country. More people die from heart attacks, more people gain weight, more people add drugs, more people get sick from Halloween through New Year's Day than any other time of the year. So how fitting for each of you to be here to take a proactive step, to have that, at the very least, mental motivation to not be in that category, to be healthier, to make better choices, and to live even better. Now, today we'll go through really 5 main points. So first of all, Dr. Majors is really going to go through what cancer is, because for a lot of people, there's purely fear. In fact, there was a study done that showed over 40% of people don't really know what a cancer cell does, but they just expect to get it. They think that there's no possible way to prevent it, and it's just bad luck. And one of the things that we go through today is that less than 10% of all cancers are purely genetic. So you have over a 90% chance of being able to affect cancer in your health. The second thing is the causes of cancer, which he'll go through. The third, and probably the coolest thing, if you've been to a cancer workshop before, the part that you've never heard before is directly related to balancing your hormones and how hormones can affect cancer. And that'll be directly following the break today. The fourth thing is the solution, so what you can do to actually prevent it, to reverse it. And then lastly, of course, is the action steps. So without further ado, we're going to kick this off and have Dr. Majors come up. I will tell you, and some of you have heard me talk about this, Dr. Majors is not only a national best-selling speaker and author, but he was my personal mentor before I moved to Rockford. He was Dr. Alex's personal mentor before he moved to Rockford. He's trained with every single one of our staff. I spent 9.5 months in his clinic, and interestingly enough, I was the first person to go train with him directly following his cancer diagnosis 5 years ago. So when he talks about having a feeding tube, I still remember the day when he went and had it ripped out. I remember when him leaving the clinic for the vitamin C treatments. I remember the supplements. I remember being at his house for birthday parties and watching him have a salad with 4 blueberries and everybody else eating healthy, even advanced plan or core plan meals, and him being so strict and so focused to reverse the cancer that really nobody reverses. He was given weeks to live, even with all of the medical interventions that they can offer. And now 5 years later, is truly diagnosed cancer-free. So you're going to hear from an expert, but also I will tell you from somebody who, for anybody that comes into the clinic, we would not have the same quality of clinic if I couldn't have learned from such a great person. Dr. Alex couldn't have learned from such a great person, family man. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Majors.
Let me check my mic. Everybody can hear me pretty good? Am I a little too loud? So I'm going to scream usually, so let me go down a little lower. Better now? You guys can hear me? Okay, good. I'm going to start with a story some of you have already heard of. Some of you haven't heard this story. There was this medical doctor, and every morning when he woke up, he'd go for a walk. He did his, prayer in the morning. He'd do his normal walk, and he had a stream there, and it was pretty cold that day. And he was walking by, and he heard some screaming. And as he was walking by the stream, he looked over. There was a child drowning in the stream. And so he, like most medical doctors, he loves, he cares, he's brilliant, he's smart, or she, whoever. And so what he did is he jumped in the water to save this child's life. And he brought the child out of there, didn't care. It was cold in the water, didn't care. He was going to save a life. Jumped in there, brought the child out, was bringing him back to life, and then heard another scream. Jumped back in again. This was going on for 10, 15 minutes, and just people were drowning in there. And then suddenly, another person walks by, And this medical doctor said, hey, what are you doing? Come help me, there's people drowning. And the other doctor looks at him and starts walking away. And the medical doctor said, what, don't you care about people? Don't you love people? What are you thinking? There's people dying in there. And as he's screaming at this other doctor, the other doctor says, well, I don't want to pull them out of the water. I want to go up there on the ledge where that guy's throwing him in the water and get him off. Get the difference? He loves, he cares. What's he doing? Saving a life in a crisis. What do I need to do? Come over here and do what? So everybody say it? I have to figure out what caused this in the first place. That's what today's about. Today's about figuring out what caused it. Thank God for doctors. Thank God for medicines. Thank God those things are there in a crisis. But what we need to figure out is why our body got into a crisis in the first place. Which one do you want? Do you want to wait till you're in a crisis? Or would you guys want to know today how to never get to a crisis? Or if you're in a crisis, the only way you're getting out of it is to find out what caused that crisis. Remember, cancer doesn't make you sick. Trust me, you go, wait a minute. Did you see my sister? Because she walked up to you today, she's sick. She got cancer and then got sick. This is the problem. This is why in conventional medicine, you'll never ever fix or ever find a cure because they're looking to chase after the cancer. You don't get cancer and then all of a sudden start getting sick. You've been sick for years. Then you got cancer. I'm going to say that again. Over here on this side. You've been sick for years. Your immune system's been weak. You've been toxic. You've been deficient. Then you get what? Cancer. Then you get cancer. If all I do is jump in the water to get the person out, but never get to the person up here throwing him in, if all I do is just get rid of the cancer, what are you still? Say it again, everybody. Sick. You're still sick. And so if you're still sick, and all I do is get rid of the cancer, what usually comes back in most cases? Cancer. More what? More cancer. So how can we treat cancer by just getting rid of the cancer when the cancer is secondary? You don't get the flu because you caught the flu from someone. You've been sick, then you get the flu. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, you say it. No, my sister gave me the flu. No, she didn't, because she didn't give it to your 2 kids, you didn't give it to your husband, and you sit in the same bed and kiss him. How can the flu cause disease? How can the flu cause sickness? Your body is sick. Your body is weak. Your immune system is down. Then you get the flu. Does that make sense? You don't get diabetes, then get sick. I had a patient who came in, and it's type 2 diabetes, and she said, well, I have type 2 diabetes, I'm diabetic. And I said, quit calling yourself a diabetic. Call it like it is. I eat too much sugar. Right? If you would just say what you really have, don't come up here telling me you have cancer. Say, I've had a horrible lifestyle, I have a weak immune system, I have lots of deficiencies, and then I got cancer. So now I can fix you. Because if you want me to chase after your cancers, right, what are you still? Sick. If you want me to just get rid of your flu, what are you still? Sick. We want to figure out how to get you back to health again. That's what today's about, is getting to the cause. Something caused this. Something causes your normal, healthy cells to move into cancer cells. Something has to cause that. It's not bad luck. It's not genetic, trust me. We're going to talk about it today. It's you. It's you. It's your fault. Is that okay I tell you guys that today? I've had people mad at me. If you guys follow me on Facebook, they get mad at me and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying it's my brother's fault. You know he's in the hospital. This lady sent me pictures. Her brother's in the hospital dying of a genetic cancer. I'm like, but aren't you his brother or his sister? How do you not have the genetic cancer? Don't you have the genes? She said, yeah, but I'm like, and you're older than he is. Your environment turns on your genes or turns off your genes. We can't blame anything else but ourselves. When you start realizing it's your fault, then you can fix it in your life. When you teach your children it's whose fault, it's always your fault. My one son hits my other son, and the one who gets hit says, I said, whose fault is it? He hit me though. It doesn't matter. The point is that we have to take full responsibility in our lives and go, you were there, you were in the situation. I guarantee you did something wrong even last week that made him want to hit you today, right? Now, I say all this for one reason, because if you're the problem, then guess what else you are? You're the solution. That's what we're talking about today. Oh, there we go. So this was my first MRI. Some of you saw this already. You've seen it in the book, Cancer Killers. On the left there, that was when I was diagnosed. That is not, I don't have brain cancer. I have a stage 4 metastatic cancer spread to the brain. As hard as brain cancer is, this isn't brain cancer, this is metastatic. It was my secondary. No hope, no cure. They wanted to do a bone marrow transplant, give me new bone marrow because I had a myeloma, it was a bone marrow cancer. They wanted to do all different chemotherapies, radiations. They said all that'll do is buy you time. But what was I? What, right? I was sick. I was sick. And I knew you couldn't make me sicker to get me healthier. That's where I was. Would you guys agree? I was sick. I was in a wheelchair. I was 50 pounds down almost. Tubes coming out of my stomach. There was a tube coming out of my head up there because I had to drill a hole down into my head to let out fluids. I was sick. I could barely walk or move. So doing a high-dose chemotherapy and radiation and a bone marrow transplant, they said, you're probably not going to make it through, but we can try. So I knew to get out. I knew to leave. And so this right here was my new MRI. I do testing. I don't just guess. I don't wake up, pray every day, and hope my cancer's gone. I do take action. Pray too, but I take action. So that's my new MRI on the right there, and that's 2015. I don't know if you guys can see there's a difference there. Would you guys agree? That's what's possible. That's what's possible. If I can do that, if I can reverse this, you can reverse anything. Or you can prevent that. You can prevent that. You just got to realize that you have that ability. You are the answer. You are that. You just have to understand, and you have to be willing to take the right actions and do the right stuff. You can't hope it's gonna happen. It's not. So the number one thing to figure out is you have to know what cancer is. If you want to never get cancer, or if you want to reverse cancer, you got to know what it is. So as I sat in the hospital bed, I'm like, okay. They came in the room and said, there's no hope, there's no cure. And I said, I don't want a cure. I want to know what caused this. Something caused this. Something caused my normal healthy cells to move into cancer cells. If I can figure out what caused it, then I can do what? Figure out what? How to fix it. If I can figure out what caused your Crohn's, I can figure out how to fix it. If I can figure out what's causing your diabetes, I can figure out how to fix it and prevent it. So we want to figure out what causes that. When it comes to cancer, the body's made up of trillions of cells. All you are is cells. You're made up of over 70 trillion cells. That's how amazing you are. Think about this. You're made up of 70 trillion cells. And every second, cells die. And every second, guess what happens? New ones what? Get replaced. Cells die, get replaced. Cells die, get replaced. Cells die, get replaced. Every cell of your body has an amazing genetic potential to grow and die, grow and die, grow and die, grow and die. Every cell of your body. Every second you lose 1 million cells, then what happens a second later? You grow what? You grow 1 million more. There's a power in you that created you. As long as your brain can recognize and see what's going on, that's why all of your patients here with Dr. Jared, because that's number one. If your brain can't see what's going on through the nervous system, nothing matters. So as soon as my brain sees a cell die, guess what it has to do? Recreate new cells. Cancer is when those cells no longer die. And what medicine believed years ago was, I don't know if you know how it started, is they believed years ago that cancer could be treated with chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. Surgery was first, and then it went into radiation and chemotherapy. And then what were the results for years and years and years? Wasn't very good. So then they said, well, there must be a genetic mutation. So for years, they chased after genes. They chased after them. So did you know that you don't have 1 or 2 bad genes, that you have hundreds of bad genes? that they may isolate 2 or 3 of them, but there's still so many more. So finally they realize it's not our genes, right? They're still chasing these things, but it's not your genes either. That's called somatic treatments. And so finally now we look at it, so I want to know, that's what they're saying, why did this cell, this normal cell, go into a cancer cell? They said, oh, it's just random luck, bad luck. Then they said, no, there's a genetic mutation. And now we're finding out that it's actually a survival mechanism. The body's doing the right thing at the right time. As hard as that is for you guys to understand that, you will in a second. So the body's made up of trillions of cells. Every cell of your body has a life cycle. It should grow and die, grow and die, grow and die for over 120 years. So there's nobody in this room who's destined for only 60 years or 50 years or 40 years in cancer. You're destined for about 100 to 120 years. That's phenomenal. It's whether or not we give the body what it needs. Oh wait. So, what is cancer then? Cancer is when the cells no longer die. That's it. Nowhere in the definition of cancer does it say it's going to kill you. There's nothing about cancer that can kill you. It can't. What kills us is the sickness of our body, the weakness of our body. The only time cancer can kill you, if you read my book, is if the cancer becomes big enough to block an organ or shut down an organ or block the blood supply. Right? Mine was in my brainstem crushing my spinal cord, right? And I was passing out on a regular basis, and I was still alive. Now, could it eventually cut me off? It would eventually kill me. But it was going to take even another 6 months to a year. So it's very hard for cancer to kill you unless it gets too big and hits an organ. Does that make sense? Quit being scared of the cancer. You need to be scared of what? What caused it? What caused it? Now, am I not saying get rid of the cancer? Absolutely not. That's not what we're talking about today. Leave it there. That's not what we're saying. Our goal today, though, is to talk about is how do we change that environment that created it in the first place? It's never the cancer. It's never your diabetes. It's never the flu. It's never your Crohn's. It's never your fibromyalgia. What is it? It's the environment. It's the environment. Your body responds to the environment. Your cells respond to the environment. They're doing their job. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So here's how it works. This is very interesting research they did. So we start out with these 2 cells, right? The one cell should grow and die, grow and die, grow and die. But all of a sudden it doesn't die. And that one cell mirror images itself to 2 cells. This is how cancer begins. Very, very, very important to understand this. So now I have 2 cells. Do you think that's noticeable? How many people in this room do you think have 2 cells of cancer right now? Probably every single one of you do. You're not freaking out. Everybody's freaking out right now? You have 2 cells of cancer? Can your doctors find 2 cells of cancer? Can any blood test find it? It's very, very hard. But you started it, you have cancer right now. You have 2 cells. Your cell isn't dying, you have cancer. So everybody in this room has a certain amount of cancer. Now, I have an immune system. Cancer is a major issue with the immune system. It's an immune system imbalance. If the immune system is strong enough, if my brain can recognize it, right? Because I'm getting checked, I'm going to the chiropractor, those who go to Dr. Jared, Dr. Alex, Dr. Kyle. I'm going in on a regular basis. Why? Because I need to keep my brain communicating with my body, keep my immune system strong. As long as my brain sees there's cancer showing up, what does it do? As soon as my brain sees cancer, what does it do? Somebody tell me? It tells the immune system to kill it. As long as my brain can see the cancer, it tells the immune system to kill it. Brain, spinal cord, nerves. Brain, spinal cord, nerves. The nerves then send a message to the immune system. The immune system goes over, kills the cancer. Cancer is when there's an imbalance of the immunity. You have more cancer, less immunity. More cancer, less immunity. So now my immune system is weak. I've damaged my immune system. My spinal cord is damaged. My brain can't get to my body. Now what happens? It took 1 year to replicate. It takes 1 year to go from 2 cells to 16 cells, depending on your cancer, depending on your environment. This is the average. There's some of you that 2-3 years. I mean, it's pretty fast. Or you find a child with cancer. So wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. I saw a 23-year-old with cancer. Well, do you think it started at 1 year old? It started 9 months ago before they were born. How long have those eggs been in you, women? Right? And what have those eggs been filling up with? Toxicity issues. So a lot of people think that, you know, when a baby comes out you know, right away and they get cancers or something a year later, they go, oh, this got to be just bad luck, genetic. No, it was the environment the mom was in the whole time. It was a liver issue with mom. She couldn't detox anything at all. She passes it through to the child. So now we go from 1 year, 16 cells, we don't kill it. 2 years, 250, 3 years, 5,000. Quickly now it's starting to move. 4 years, 5 years, you have 1 million cancer cells. Is it detectable? No, not by medical conventional. If I sent you for the right testing and I measure cancer stem cells and circulating tumor cells, we could find some of this. But general medical test will still not find it. Your normal blood test will not find it yet. 6 years, you have 16 million cells, 260 million cells, still not noticeable in a mammogram. And in 8 years, it's doubled 32 times. Now at 4 billion, now I do a mammogram, I find it. So women, you did a mammogram at 4 years. Did they see your cancer? But they put a whole bunch of radiation in you, and now what do they do quickly? It goes faster from 4 years to 8 years. Because what is one of the major causes of radiation? What does radiation cause? Cancer. Am I saying not to do that stuff? That's not what I'm saying. You can't, when does every medical test find cancer? Before you have it or after you have it? Thank God. But I want to know before I even have it. And I want to do testing that isn't going to cause more cancers. It's crazy, right? Why would I do a testing to find it that's going to cause it? You go, I don't have it. Well, you could be at 65,000 cells and you wouldn't know it. So, those of you that seen this article or saw this article, it's not your genes. Your genes respond to your environment. Your genes respond to your environment. It's epigenetic. Every one of you in this room is a loaded gun. Every one of you is a loaded gun. I have bad genes. My father died 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. I've never met my grandfathers, neither of them. Both died of heart issues and all different problems. I've never met most of the men, nobody older. So I have those genes. Would you admit it? It's not the gene, it's whether I do what? It's whether I turn that gene on or off. Depending on how I live my life. Genes are turned on or off. We can turn those off and keep those off. It's called epigenetics. It's called epigenetics. You have a choice. You are not a victim anymore. You're the victor if you choose to. You're not a victim. You're not succumb to your genetic genes. You're succumb to your environment, your lifestyle. That's amazing. So we got to quit blaming that. Because you are not destined by your genes. You're not destined by that. Time Magazine. How many of you saw this? Dr. Alex probably had it, and Dr. Jared probably had it in the office. They did an article in Time Magazine, and I think this is one of the things that sparked the new, you guys seen this, the American Cancer Society, their stance on mammograms is when do you have to get a mammogram, women? Every what? After age 40, when do you get a mammogram? They said every year. They changed their stance last week and said, women, after the age of 45, you go once a year, then after the age of 60-something, you go every other. They changed their stance completely. Wait a minute, but what about all your parents and all your sisters and everybody who's getting one every year? And then if you have the BRCA gene, they tell you to get 2 a year. Does anybody know what the BRCA means? BRCA gene is not a gene that you're going to get cancer. It's a gene that's more protective against cancer. What it means is it means you're more susceptible then, because it's a gene that has to be produced more often. And what happens is the more you radiate a person with BRCA, which is the BRCA, Angelina Jolie, BRCA2, these are breast cancer genes. I'm not saying they can't contribute. What I'm saying is that just mammogramming every year isn't going to change your status. What's going to change your status? If you have a bad gene, what's going to change that? Changing your what? Changing your environment, we're going to learn about today. Changing your environment. So Time Magazine went through and said, what if I decided to do nothing? They went through research after research after research. Who read this article yet? A few of you. Research after research after research saying, what if I did nothing? What if instead of getting mammograms, I never got another mammogram? and said, would I live longer? What was the answer? The answer was yes. Research, not mine. That's their research. They said because we're finding indolent cancers. We're finding DCISs, which are called ductal carcinoma in situ, which would never move into an invasive cancer. So ductal carcinoma, DCIS. And because of that, they're finding small little, what's called indolent cancers, which would never affect you. They're radiating, or removing them, doing chemo and radiation. What happens to the person usually? They die from a cancer that would have never went anywhere. This is Time Magazine, this is research, this isn't mine. This is from the Lancet, these are from medical journals saying, we gotta stop over-treating, we gotta stop waiting to have something, and we gotta get where? To the what? We gotta get to the cause. That's what today's about, getting to the causes. So what is cancer? So we know that it's cells that are replicating abnormally. We know that's a bunch of abnormal cells going on, right? So what is it exactly? And the research shows that cancer is a natural wound healing process. It's the body doing the right thing at the right time. So everybody right now, stand up. Everybody stand up. Stand up, stand up. I want to do something, stand up. So right now you guys stood up. Did your heart rate go up or down a little bit? It had. Is your body smart or dumb by doing that? Okay, now let's everybody sit down. Does your heart rate go back down a little bit? Blood pressure probably went down. Does your blood pressure go up when you're running, or does your blood pressure go up when you're laying down? Should it go up? If I came at you with a knife, should your blood pressure go up or down? So the body's always doing the right thing at the right time. Your heart rate just went up. I didn't have to do anything. Do you have a heart problem then? Your body's responding to what? Its environment. It's always responding. And cancer's the same thing. Cancer's the same thing. I'm going to explain, an easy way to explain this is, so right now, let me go on this hand. So right now, let's say I have all these weights up here. Those of you that lift weights or men or women who are use your hands a lot or do a lot of work, hard laboring work. If I damage my skin, and I damage my skin, and I damage my skin, what eventually shows up on my hand? Is a callus the same cell structure as my normal ones? No. Is it a different form? Is it harder?
Yes.
Why does my body move from a normal healthy cell into a new layer of cells? What's it trying to do to me?
Protect you.
I want to say that again.
Protect you.
Do you realize that 90% of the room said exactly the right thing? You just told me the body will change its cells to do what? To protect. If I come at you with a knife, my body will change its cells to do what? Protect you. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, your cortisol goes up, and your body's going to be in a fight or flight, so you can knock that knife out of my hand and save your life. If a lion's coming after you, your cortisol goes up. Is that good or bad? It's amazing. Men, as your testosterone drops as you get older, and you need cholesterol to raise it, because every steroid hormone of your body is made of cholesterol. Your cholesterol has to go up as you get older, men and women. Is the body doing the right thing? So if you have higher cholesterol as you get older, is that good or bad? It's actually good, because it's helping you build testosterone, one of your hormones we're going to talk about after break, which is one of your sex hormones, and your sex hormones are your health hormones. That's why you feel horrible after you turn about 35 and 40 years old, because your health hormones are gone, your sex hormones are going down, because you have no idea how to balance them out.